Good morning, everyone. Wait a second, I thought we were awake. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much. In 2015, Maryland PTA volunteers celebrated over 100 years of education advocacy for children in the state of Maryland. Now, I know that MSEA has 150 years, but the important part of that is that the reason Maryland PTA was created was a joint partnership between parents and teachers. I'm delighted to be here and want to thank your President, Betty Weller, for the support she's provided to Maryland PTA. I want to acknowledge that we have so many of our more dedicated volunteers and advocates here today. Not only are you dedicated volunteers of MSEA, but you're also tireless advocates of Maryland PTA. Thank you for sharing your time, your talents, and passion as we address our state's most pressing educational issues. As advocates and volunteers, you are the foundation of our association and the driving force behind Maryland PTA's mission to make every child's potential a reality. Each of us is driven by a passion to improve our schools and communities and our children. The PTA tagline, "Every child, one voice," reminds us that our concern extends to all children. And as we embrace our leaders of the future, we want only the very best. Advocates like you, time and again, have stepped in to demand that changes be made for children and to improve their lives. We have much more to do. Together, we call on our state leaders to maintain and improve the funding formulas that students receive the education they deserve. We believe that all children are entitled to equal educational opportunities and that providing resources for effective programs in school is paramount. This includes services for special populations, such as students with disabilities, gifted and talented English language learners, and economically disadvantaged students. Together, we call on our state leaders to expand early intervention programs, to expand for all children in Maryland access to high-quality early childhood education. It is key to making children college and career ready. Making pre-kindergarten is mandatory. It is not a luxury. It's a necessity for all children. For decades, PTA has supported early education because research shows that providing effective, targeted support and intervention for children will better prepare them for academic success and career success. Together, we call on our state leaders to recognize that children need more learning and less testing. Children who are not in class lose out on important lessons they cannot afford to miss. Although assessment of school performance for outcomes is essential, it must be accompanied with programs that support students and limit the amount of classroom time devoted for testing or preparation for testing. Together, we call on our leaders to provide adequate funding for education. Despite early universal agreement from parents and educators together on the importance of high-quality education, funding for public school has experienced dramatic cuts. That's something we cannot tolerate. That is why MSEA and PTA together joined in a letter to ask Governor Hogan to release the GCEI funds. And we will not stop until those funds go where they belong, to the children. As a result of the joint efforts of MSEA and PTA, our parents are more engaged and our children do better in school. That's why we've championed the Parent Family Engagement in Education Act to target dedicated capacity building and technical assistance for effective family engagement. Together, we call on our state leaders to recognize that promises made to teachers yesterday should be relied on in future years when they face retirement. To do otherwise is a promise that should be kept. Together, MSEA and Maryland PTA are dedicated to strengthen and advance programs that further the success of all children and educators. It's my privilege on behalf of Maryland PTA to thank you for taking this journey with us and for dedicating so much of your time and energy for this noble cause. Give yourself a round of applause for being a part of what's rightfully called the most successful voice for children's advocacy. On behalf of our 180,000 Maryland PTA members, I want to thank you for believing wholeheartedly that together we can make every child's potential a reality. Thank you.